Welcome back everybody to another video, and in this video today we'll be doing factoring, but we'll be doing cubic factoring. So this is basically normal factoring except when your numbers are to the power of 3 or cubed. So let's get started. So first we have to know the acronym SOAP. And this acronym is to help us with our signs when we factor. So it stands for same, opposite, and always positive. Always positive. So to start, we could do a cubed plus b cubed. And to factor, we would do a plus same, so same as positive, plus b, a squared minus, because of opposite, 2ab, and plus, because of always positive, b squared. And this would be the same for negative, except it would be a squared, a minus b times a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So let's get started with our first problem. Our first problem, we have 8a cubed plus 8b cubed. So first, let's write out our signs. So since we have positive, it's going to be same, opposite, and always positive. Next, we have to factor. So we have to find the cube root of 8. So everybody should know that 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So we could start with 2a plus 2b as our first term. And our second term would be 2a squared, which would be 4a squared, and thus negative sign, minus 2a times 2b, which would be 4ab, and plus 2b squared, which would be 4b squared. And this would be our fully factored. And now if you really wanted to, you could factor one more step. And notice that we get the same thing, except with our numbers on the outside. So let's move on to our next problem. Our next problem, we have 64a cubed plus b cubed. So let's start off with our signs again. That would be positive, because of same, opposite, which would be negative, and always positive. So let's take a cube root of 64. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Let's move on to 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So that doesn't work. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. So that is our cube. So it would be 4a and then plus. And the cube root of b is just going to be b. And for our next sign, we have negative. So that would be 4a squared. 4a and then squared. So 16a squared minus 4a times b, which would be 4ab, and always positive. And that would be b and then squared, so b squared. So now, since we can't really factor because there aren't any common terms, this would be our final solution. Let's move on to the next problem. Our last problem is going to be 16a squared minus 64b squared. So let's look at our signs. So we have negative right here, so it'd be same, opposite, and always positive. So now that we have our signs, we can move on. So for 16, we know that 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So that doesn't work. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, so that doesn't work. So let's use a different number instead of 16. We can use 8. And 2 cubed is 8, so it would be 2a minus, and then the cube root of 64, which is 4b. And sorry, this should be cubed. And we multiply times 2a squared, so that would be 4a squared, and then the sign, plus 2a times 4b, which would be 8ab, and our sign, plus 4b, and square that, which would be 16b squared. Now, since we do have common term of 2 in here, we can factor that out. That would be a minus 2b. And we do have a common term of 4 in the next equation, so we could do a squared plus 2ab plus 4b squared. Now we could factor further, but this would be our final solution. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed.